wanted to show y'all my quick veggie omelet. We got spinach, onions, red peppers, bell peppers, and mushrooms, and some toast. And I got some cheese in there too. Just wanted to show y'all what it's looking like for breakfast. But now I gotta go because the baby's crying. Alright folks, so I wanted to go ahead and do this. I promised you guys that I would show you guys one of my favorite juices. And it's a sweet juice and it's orange. I love carrot juice, so I decided to make some special things in there with it, and it's absolutely delicious. So I've gotten the hard part out of the way, and this is, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 carrots, a whole sweet potato that's cut up, and about half a pineapple. Just to give you guys some quick tips, I would definitely say, excuse you, baby, I would definitely say get the hard part out of the way, get all your stuff sliced up, down to size according to like how big the mouth of your juicer is. I am poor, so I don't have a Vitamix. I have just a regular juicer that I paid maybe $50 at Target for. It's called a Juice Man. I don't know if you can see that, but it's called a Juice Man, and you know, the mouth is not as wide as certain juicers that you can buy, so I have to kind of cut everything down so that it's slim and that it can fit through the mouth. Also, let me see if I can, okay. Something else is, as far as supplies, something that definitely helps as far as cutting up sweet potatoes and carrots and things like that is a ceramic knife. And I got one from just my regular grocery store. I paid maybe $10 or $11 for it, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, it slices through sweet potatoes like butter. It makes chopping up things like carrots and sweet potatoes so easy, and you're not about to break your hand off or chop your hand off fooling with a regular knife. Also, one of your biggest supplies, if you plan on juicing ahead of time, and when I did a juice fast a few years back, I think it was 2012, I would juice like a few days in advance because it took so long to get everything chopped and everything. It took a long time. And so what I started to do was make all of my juices for the week. And what I would get, what I went and bought, is a whole bunch of these jars with the airtight seals, and that makes the juice last for longer in your refrigerator. So I would make about 5 of those big jars. I would do it all at once, like on Sunday, so that I would have it to take with me to work, and then it lasts for the week in your refrigerator about 5 days. I have this cheesecloth, which I just, once again, and this is it out of the package, I got it from the local grocery store. Once again, you know, sometimes what happens is your juice gets a little gritty, and so what I do is I let the juice come out in this regular container, and then I strain it with this cheesecloth before I pour it into the jar. And I'll also show you guys what I do with the pulp, so not to waste a lot. And one thing I've actually started to do with a lot of my juices, the only juice that I still juice in the juicer is this one because of the sweet potato and the carrot, and I know my blender can't handle it. But what I do with all my other juices, and I'll show you it's the same thing I'm going to do with the pulp, is actually put it in the blender, add water to it, and then just strain it through the cheesecloth the same way you would the juice. And it comes out the same, it's the same taste, it's just as smooth, and it's a lot less cleanup than using the juicer. So, but all my other juices, like I do one that's with kale, celery, apple, it's green apple. That one is really delicious, and I do that one in the blender. Alright people, so what I've done is spooned all of the pulp, and you see how much pulp this is. This is quite a bit of pulp, and I'm not about to waste anything. So what I'm going to do is put all of this pulp into the blender and blend it and make a whole other batch of juice. Now what I got out of this batch, out of the juicer, was about what is that, like 18 ounces? I'm pretty sure I can probably get another 18 out of this here. So let's see. Okay, so what I've done is just taken this cheesecloth here, I folded it over to double it up. It's just an old supermarket bag because there is going to be some pulp left from juicing, from straining the juice and straining the smoothie that I did in the blender. And so you'll need somewhere to put all that. So I just have this on hand to put the pulp that's going to be in the cheesecloth. So I just rinsed my cheesecloth. It's stained, but it's clean, and it's got a lot of that pulp that was in there out. And I'm just going to continue my process with the blended pulp. And with this mixture, you'll see the pulp is going to come out more. Because it was done in the smoothie, it's a little more solid. But what you'll see at the end of this is that there's a lot less pulp that's going to be left over from doing it this way than if you had just thrown away the pulp that you had and only drank the juice that you got. You're going to see that it pretty much doubles your juice, and it cuts your trash and your waste down significantly. I would say more than half. And that's one thing that I like about doing it this way, doing most of my juices, especially my green ones, in the blender, because you actually get a lot more juice doing it in the blender, and you actually save a lot more money. One thing I learned when I did a juice fast a few years ago was that I just had a lot of waste and not a whole lot of juice. That's one thing about these juicers, and depending on what kind you have, and like I said, I'm poor, so I just got a cheap one from Target. Depending on which one you buy, you're not going to get that much juice out, and what I noticed is I actually get to use pretty much all of the vegetables that I juice and all of the fruit. There's not a whole lot of waste. And the thing is too, I was like, well, I have to strain it no matter if I do it in the blender or if I do it in the juicer. The blender is easier to clean, and I get to use all of my stems, everything from the vegetable. And it's the chopping process is shorter because you can just kind of chop it a little bit and just throw everything in the blender. And you get a lot more juice. And you don't have to use as much. One thing I learned too is the recipes and stuff that I was using, you had to use so much fruits and vegetables, and you were only getting maybe 1 jar of juice, and you have bought, I don't know, maybe $10 worth of veggies. Alright, so now we're going to have to get another jar, because as you can see, this one is full. Alright, folks, so I'm about to show you guys the finished product. I've finished juicing the juice that I had out of the juicer, and then also blending the pulp with cold water. And I've actually more than doubled the amount of juice that I have from the juicer, and decreased my pulp by about half, if not by, well, more than half, definitely. So anyway, these are my jars. I got a jar and a half. This jar is filled up to about 24 ounces, and this jar is about 14 ounces or so. So, I got a pretty good amount, which before, if you remember, from just the juicer, I had maybe about this much in this jar, and that was it from only juicing. So I've definitely more than doubled the amount of juice by blending my pulp. And then this is my waste, and this is a pretty small size plastic bag here, but if you can, and my hands are ashy, excuse me. But if you can see my hand and then compare it to the amount of pulp, it's way less than what was there before. So you have a lot less waste. You have to use a lot less vegetables doing it this way. Because I noticed to get these full jars, I would have had to pretty much double the amount of sweet potato, carrot, and pineapple that I used. So instead of using half a pineapple, 8 carrots, and 1 sweet potato, and just to fill up the jar now, not even get another half a jar, I would have had to use 2 sweet potatoes, 16 carrots, and a whole pineapple. So I've actually cut the cost by a whole lot. I actually have enough in my refrigerator to do 2 more batches like this. So it's definitely a good way to save money juicing that way. It is a little bit more work doing it with the cheesecloth and blending it and all of that. But you save a whole lot of money in the end. Because a Vitamix, I don't even know how much they cost. I know that they're at least like $300 or $400 at least, and I'm pretty sure they're like $600 or $700 depending on what kind you get. Versus I bought a $50 juicer from Target, and the blender was about $50. But of course, I've acquired these things over the years. It's not something I bought all at once. And then the cheesecloth is maybe $2 or $3 at the store, and you can reuse it. You can rinse it out, wash it, and reuse it, and you get more bang for your buck. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Let's do a taste test. I know it's delicious anyway, because this is, like I said, one of my favorite juices. It's cold because I put the cold water in there. You can see it. There's no grit and stuff at the bottom. It's very smooth like any other juice. So, and it's delicious. So, I mean, I definitely would say to definitely try it and see what kind of results you get. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. You guys are kind of getting the benefit of all of the mistakes that I made in the beginning when I was first learning about juicing. So definitely give it a try. Peace.